Hi, it's Thanksgiving 2012, and this year we're going to do something a little bit different with our turkey. We're tired of just roasting it like you normally do in the oven, so this year we're going to debone the whole thing. And I've never done this before, so you'll get to see what it's like for an amateur like yourself to have the confidence to do this. I have practiced on a chicken. I saw Jacques Pepin show how he does a ballotine of chicken, and so I practiced last weekend on that. That was fairly successful. People say a turkey is even easier, but we'll see when we get into it. Let me show you a couple things. I have my knives here, and of course it's very important to have very sharp knives. So I've got a little paring knife that I like to use, and a little boning knife, and I'll have longer knives if I need to do that. When I get into the turkey, I'm for sure going to, let me turn a little more light on here, I'm for sure going to take out the thigh bone and all of the bones and the wings, and I'm going to chop off these little nub things here on the end. I don't think I'm going to take out the drumstick bone because there's some sinew and tendons in there, and I'm not really sure how to do that from the inside because I want to maintain one giant skin and one piece of meat on the inside, a layer of meat. So this particular turkey, we're taking it apart, we're going to look at it a little bit. So we got my neck here, and there's a little packet of the gizzard, the giblets, those sort of things are in there. So let's look at the turkey a little bit. So there are 4 points that we're concerned with. 2 wing places and where the legs come into the turkey. Normally you see a turkey presented like this, but of course this is really upside down from where the turkey really runs around. This is how he would be. His neck would come up like this, his head would be up here, and his wings come out like that, of course. So what we want to do is, some people cut it on the top and split it that way, but I think it makes more sense to cut it this way. We'll have additional skin before we get to the meat. We want to wrap it all up and put stuffing in the middle, and so that's the general plan of action. So tonight what I'm going to do, because this is the day before Thanksgiving, I'm simply going to bone the turkey. I'll put it in the refrigerator. I probably am going to brine it for maybe an hour tomorrow because I like to brine turkeys. And so let's get into it. Let's just see what happens. So the first thing we want to do is we want to make a cut along here to cut the skin all the way back just like that. Now when Jacques Pepin does it, he peels it all off, and on a chicken you can do that quite easily. You can grab this as you cut the joint here and you peel it down, and then you just skin the whole turkey. I think that's a little difficult, and we're going to see how that works. We may have to cut a little bit of it and help it along and not do it as quickly as he does. But the first thing we want to try to figure out is that the wing comes in here. So somewhere in here is this joint that we want to cut through the muscle right here, and we want to expose that joint where the articulation takes place. So we're going to take our knife, and like I say, I have no idea what's going to happen. We're just going to try it. So somewhere down in here is some sort of joint. We're going to wiggle it around, and we're going to see if we can find it. And it's down in there. Cut it apart. See, it's right there. So I'm going to cut that a little bit. Get that apart. And there it's loose, just like that. See that? So there's one side loose. Now the wishbone is right in here, and you know, I think I'll take that out too. Let's do that. So the wishbone's right in here, and you can feel it. I think I'll get that out of the way before it's a problem. You can kind of see it. See it right there? So what we're going to do is we're just going to cut down, using my little knife, just like that. Squirt down in there, and we're going to feel to reach in. See how it comes out? Try to leave the meat behind. We get up behind it. It's attached in there a little bit. You want to be careful with the wishbone because it can be sharp. Let's see. See, it's coming out just like that. The ends can be sharp, so you want to be careful when you actually get it out of there. These ends right here can be quite sharp where I broke it off, so you want to be careful with that. Put that over. We're going to use that for stock. So now we have our wishbone removed. So let's go back. So we've got one side free, and we're going to try to do the same thing on the other side. And we cut down in here. Move it around a little bit. See, the joint is in there. Cut it. There it is, see? It was to the left of it a little bit there, but there's the joint right there, see it? So we cut that down. Now, this is where, what we want to do is we want to get down to where the leg's attached down here. See this? This right here is the next thing that we need to really worry about. There's a little oyster of meat there that we want to get to. Now, what Jacques Pepin did was he twisted this down, and I just don't think I can do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to help it down by cutting close to it on both sides. Just like that. And help it along is what I'm going to do. Now we want to try to save as much of this meat as we can. There's a little bone in here, and I'm not sure how that's going to come about. It's right in here. This guy, let's see if we can look at it and get this open. Because the chicken doesn't really have the same little problem. See this bone right here? The one on the chicken is much less. That. So we'll come down here like this, find that bone, try to get the meat off of it. Like that. And see, right here is where this little oyster thing is. It's right there. And there's a little piece of meat that we want to grab. So see, I don't think I can do it like Jacques did. See, what we want to do is pull this down. And see how you got the breast meat here and we have the fillets right here, and what we're trying to do is to peel